It's been 2 years since the breakout of war in Europe, and things have only escalated significantly, with French President Emmanuel Macron suggesting that NATO should deploy Western troops to Ukraine. The prospect of nuclear conflict between NATO and Russia, once unthinkable, is now a very real possibility. Today we're going to explore the unthinkable. How would the United States and NATO respond during a nuclear conflict? What exactly is NATO's nuclear war plan? How many nuclear weapons are readily available to the alliance? Where are they? What are their targets? How many missiles would be launched? How many casualties could we expect after NATO bombs reach their destinations? What would the world look like going forward? And most importantly, could NATO win a global nuclear war?
Nobody wins a nuclear war. If there was a war, the only person that could win a thermonuclear war is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well, that taught me how to speak the truth. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, Shalom. This is Matazat Lacham. I found this video. This is just some simulations about what they think.
No bombs reach their destinations. What would the world look like going forward?
This is what's going on right now between Pakistan and India. They're fighting over that river that divides the two countries. Okay? I forget the name of the river that goes through India and into Pakistan, but they're fighting over it. India is NATO, and Pakistan is the BRICS nations, right? See, so, but anyway, I'm just let it keep going.
And most importantly, could NATO win a global nuclear war?
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna win.
3 NATO countries have nuclear weapons deployed in Europe: the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. NATO nuclear weapons deployed in Europe can be classified into 2 categories: air-based bombers carrying gravity bombs and air-launched nuclear cruise missiles, and sea-based submarines armed with submarine-launched ballistic missiles. Now let's take a look at each NATO country's nuclear weapons and its weapon delivery systems. Of the 3 nuclear powers in NATO, only the United States provides weapons for nuclear sharing. Nuclear sharing is a concept in NATO's policy of nuclear deterrence, which allows the armed forces of member countries without nuclear weapons to participate in a coordinated NATO nuclear strike. The United States has one type of non-strategic nuclear weapon, the B-61 gravity bomb. The B-61 is a guided aircraft drop bomb with an explosive yield of up to 340 kilotons. The United States has 100 B-61 gravity bombs deployed at 6 bases in 5 European countries: Kleinbrogel Air Base in Belgium, Vocal Air Base in the Netherlands, Buchel Air Base in Germany, Gedi and Aviano Air Base in Italy, and Incirlik Air Base in Turkey. Each country houses 20 gravity bombs. Belgian, Dutch, German, Italian, and Turkish air forces are currently assigned an active nuclear strike role with U.S. nuclear weapons. The Belgian and Dutch air forces currently use the F-16 fighter bomber. The F-16 is an American-made, single-engine, supersonic multi-role tactical fighter aircraft. Though much smaller and lighter than its predecessor, the F-15. The F-16 used advanced aerodynamics and avionics to achieve advanced maneuverability against the enemy. Highly agile, the F-16 was the first fighter aircraft purpose-built to pull 9G maneuvers, reaching a maximum speed of over 15,000 miles per hour. Its notable combat missions include Operation Desert Storm and the Bosnian and Kosovo War in the 1990s. The Italian, German, and Turkish air forces used the PA-200 Tornado fighter jet. The PA-200 Tornado is a twin-engine multi-role combat aircraft, jointly developed and manufactured by Italy, the United Kingdom, and Germany. The Tornado was operated by the RAF and Italian Air Force during the 1991 Gulf War, conducting several low-altitude strike missions. Other PA-200 campaigns include Bosnia, Kosovo, Kosovo and Iraq and the 2011 Libyan civil war, as well as smaller roles in Afghanistan, Yemen, and Syria. Both the F-16 and PA can carry up to 2 B-61 gravity bombs. Each gravity bomb has more than 40 times the destructive power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. As with all things, there are advantages and disadvantages of America's B-61 gravity bomb. Its first benefit comes from its mode of delivery, with the capability of being dropped at speeds of Mach 2, and from an altitude of 50,000 feet. Air delivery of the B-61 gravity bomb allows attacking personnel to evade defensive fire and countermeasures from the enemy target area. The second advantage of the B-61 gravity bomb comes from its earth penetration capability. Certain B-61 bombs are designed to hit their targets at high speed, penetrating deep below the ground before detonating their high-yield thermonuclear warheads, by exploding just a few meters underground instead of at or above the surface. A much larger fraction of explosion energy is transmitted to the target, creating a strong seismic shock that can crush or damage underground bunkers and hit enemy command centers.
Okay, now we see this in the news jumping off right now between India and Pakistan, right? Okay, Donald Trump's over there in the Middle East trying to get what do you call it? The Saudi prince to side with him, you know, as far as Agent Orange is concerned, you know, pushing the technology of the mark of the beast on the people to try to see if it can get them to finance to purchase the lithium that they need in order to make all these chips for everybody. Now, it's already been well known and well noised abroad that in the UK and the United Nations, as far as the British nations, they already got microchips that have already been, you know, handed out to the people already. It's Slovakia. Here, you guys go outside. Go on. Go on. Wow, man, I tell you. Anyway, but yeah, this is what's going on now. Probable of the places in which India is going to get hit. Okay, you know. I got a question. You know, because why would they put all this information on the internet if they weren't sure that they could hit these targets? And why would they put all this information on the internet concerning their nuclear arsenal, the weapons that they're going to use? That's giving your enemy an opportunity to develop weapons that counteract yours, wouldn't it? I mean, you know, whatever. These Edomites and their pride is without bounds. What the fuck? Hold on, wait. Biblical scripture just popped in my head. Okay, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Or verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And you just seen that. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay? So clearly these Edomites are not upright people. Okay? Verse 4 NLT. Look at the proud. They trust in themselves and their lives are crooked, but the righteous will live by their faithfulness to the Most High. Right? Okay? This is what these devils do, man. KJV verse 5. Yep, he also transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man who neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and it as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. NLT, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouths as wide as the grave, and like death they are never satisfied. In their greed, they have gathered up many nations and swallowed many peoples. Okay? And this is what the wickedness of these goddamn animals, boy. I tell you, man. This is crazy. Let's finish.
The second NATO country with nuclear weapons deployed in Europe is France. France's nuclear arsenal consists of 290 warheads, all of which are deployed or operationally available for deployment on short notice. France's nuclear arsenal has two legs: air-based bombers armed with air-launched nuclear cruise missiles, and sea-based submarines armed with submarine-launched ballistic missiles. France's nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines are the backbone of the French nuclear deterrent. The French Navy operates 4 Triomphant-class nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. Each submarine carries 16 M51 submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The M51 SLBM is the most destructive weapon in France's nuclear arsenal. Each missile is armed with up to 10 100-kiloton TN-75 thermonuclear warheads. In theory, each sub can launch its entire 16-missile payload virtually undetected in under 5 minutes. When launched, the 3-stage M51 SLBM travels at speeds of over 19,000 miles per hour, has a range of over 6,000 miles, and typically reaches its target or targets in around 15 minutes. Each warhead is guided by a multiple independently targetable reentry vehicle, or MIRV, allowing a single M51 missile to deliver up to 10 warheads to 10 separate targets. Just one M51 missile alone, armed with 10 warheads, has 130 times the destructive power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. There are numerous advantages of France's ballistic missile submarines. For starters, they make up the most survivable leg of the nuclear triad. Ballistic missile submarines are virtually undetectable at sea. Their stealth design makes finding one an almost impossible task, giving pause to potential adversaries, with at least one submarine on constant patrol at all times. Ballistic missile submarines assure that France can strike anywhere, anytime, even after a surprise attack. In terms of disadvantages, there simply are none. The second leg of France's nuclear arsenal is its air-based tactical bombers. France's strategic air forces operate 40 nuclear-capable Rafale MF-3 aircraft. France's strategic bombers are organized into 2 bomb squadrons and 1 bomb wing at 3 bases: Saint-Nazaire Air Base, with 2 forward operating bases at Istres Air Base and Avord Air Base. Each MF-3 bomber can carry 1 Aspam thermonuclear cruise missile. When launched, the Aspam cruise missile could travel over 300 miles at speeds exceeding 2,300 miles per hour, using its independent guidance system to deliver a TN-81 300-kiloton warhead to its target in less than 90 seconds. Each missile contains 40 times the destructive power of the bomb dropped on Nagasaki in 1945. Furthermore, the French Navy operates a squadron of 10 MF-3s, also armed with Aspam cruise missiles, all of which are deployed aboard its aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle. The last NATO country with nuclear weapons deployed in Europe is the United Kingdom. Its nuclear arsenal consists of 120 warheads deployed on 4 Vanguard-class ballistic missile submarines. Of all the nuclear weapon states, the United Kingdom is the only nuclear power with a single deterrent system: nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines armed with submarine-launched ballistic missiles. Each submarine carries 8 Trident II submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The Trident II SLBM is the sole nuclear delivery system in the UK's nuclear arsenal. Each missile is armed with 5 100-kiloton Holbrook thermonuclear warheads. In theory, each sub can launch its entire 8-missile payload virtually undetected in under 3 minutes. When launched, the 3-stage Trident II travels at speeds of over 18,000 miles per hour, has a range of over 7,500 miles, and typically reaches its target or targets in around 15 minutes. Just one Trident II missile alone, armed with 5 warheads, has 67 times the destructive power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. One of the 4 ballistic missile submarines is deployed at sea at all times. 2 of the submarines remain in port and can be deployed on short notice, while the 4th remains in overhaul. The deployed ballistic missile submarine operates at a reduced alert. That is, its capacity to fire its missiles is measured in days rather than a few minutes, as during the Cold War.
Now remember, these are all thermonuclear missiles, okay? They're nothing compared to, what was done in Nagasaki and Hiroshima back in 1945 is nothing compared to these things. And all these little white dots are thermonuclear explosions. Everything between 300 to 500 kilometers in a diameter where these little dots are is destroyed completely. Turned to glass, burnt to... Shit.
When one imagines a nuclear war, the first thing that comes to mind is a massive global nuclear exchange between 2 countries. In reality, the build-up to a total nuclear war would be far more complicated. Put simply, there would be stages. U.S. warplanners call these stages the nuclear escalation ladder. For a nuclear conflict involving the United States, NATO, and the Russian Federation, generally there are 5 steps. Diplomatic condemnation, show of force, all-out conventional war, tactical nuclear war, and global nuclear war. We're currently in the first stage, diplomatic condemnation. The first 4 stages would likely take place in Europe, most likely arising from a crisis in Ukraine. Only a total global nuclear war would affect the continental US. This video will focus on the 4th stage of the nuclear escalation ladder, a tactical nuclear war in Europe between NATO and the Russian Federation. But what exactly is a tactical nuclear war? Tactical nuclear weapons, also called non-strategic nuclear weapons, are generally designed for battlefield use. These tactical weapons have a shorter range than strategic, long-range weapons like ICBMs, which are designed to directly attack an adversary's homeland. U.S. warplanners describe tactical nuclear weapons as intended to win a battle, while strategic nuclear weapons are intended to win a war. Tactical nuclear weapons have a lower explosive yield than strategic weapons, meaning that they cause less destruction. However, many Russian and U.S. tactical weapons have yields far greater than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima, and their dangers are well known. Put simply, a tactical nuclear war would take place in Europe, and a strategic nuclear war would involve a massive nuclear exchange between continents. Now let's take a look at NATO's tactical nuclear war plan, its Russian targets, the NATO nuclear weapons used, and the overall outcome of a tactical thermonuclear exchange between NATO and the Russian Federation.
To be continued. Ain't no continuation after that. Ain't no continuation. Where the fuck they get that bullshit? Boy, these Edomites, boy. You see what I mean with the pride of these motherfuckers, man. Let me go to where do I start, man? Wow. Let's go to Joel chapter 3. Let's get it. Pride of these goddamn animals, boy, I tell you. Joel chapter 3 verse 9, right? Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, and the Gentiles in this biblical context would be Esau, Edom, and the nations found in Psalm 83, right? These are the ones that are confederate against Israel becoming a nation again, the Israelites, knowing who they are, why they were scattered, why they were dispersed amongst the heathen nations, why that the heathen nations have taken the moniker or taken the title of Israelite upon themselves and called the actual true people of the Bible, racial epithets, and other things that are uncouth, right? Nigger, misnomers, black, social constructs, you know, and all of this is because of the confederation of all of these nations confederate against the Israelites waking up to who they are. Where it says in Revelation chapter 11, they would not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. Right? Right? Revelation chapter 11 verse 9. And they of the people and the kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies. The dead bodies are the Israelites, not knowing who they are. Right? If you're alive, you know that you have a bloodline inheritance to a specific people. Because like it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 16, there is no end of all the people. So Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, going about telling the entire world that Esau doesn't exist, he's been done away with, is a fucking lie. Because the prophet King Solomon says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 16, there is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. And them that come after that are not going to rejoice, those individuals are the heathen nations, Gentiles, and the Israelites that have to come to these devils in one of all things. For the Israelites, based on the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28, and as far as the heathen nations, they all have to bow down to this devil based on what was done in Nagasaki and Hiroshima since the 1940s. You know, everybody's afraid that America is going to come and destroy their country, which they did. Now America's at the perfect point where all the nations can get back at them. See, Revelation chapter 17, right, verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth, and the whore is Babylon the Great, mother of harlots, the whore of Babylon, that's America. Where she sitteth are the military bases that you just saw get blown the fuck up. All these military sites, military bases on a global scale concerning EU and NATO. And the video, you just seen that, right? Okay. Are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues, right? Okay. Because wherever these military bases and consulates are in the world, that portion of those countries is American soil. In those countries. You understand what I'm saying? Verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right? What is the fire? You just saw the video. They're going to burn her with thermonuclear heat. For the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, because all of the Gentile nations have given their power over to the beast, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. On both sides of the fence, you have Esau, Edom, okay, Gog and Magog, aka Vladimir Putin, and the land he sits on, Russia, okay. He's a wild, brute, bestial man, and all of these Edomites come from that area, okay. After the Bolshevik revolution, they spread their wickedness, the Edomite wickedness, throughout all of the different countries: Scotland, Ireland, England, so-called Great Britain. All of these different nations were all melanated people used to live there before Esau, Edom got to it. Okay, and exterminated these people into damn near obscurity. Okay. And then took their place, took their title. French, Italian, Spanish. All these individuals were dark race people, man. Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, remember, the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai gave Esau Edom the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven from above, and to live by the sword. These motherfuckers are the most skilled at killing, exterminating, burning, raping, murder, pillage. They are, I'm telling you, they are very efficient at what they do, at using the sword in different ways. They're very clever, ingenious. You know, they have a secret Edomite covenant of the John D. Roosevelt or John D. Rockefeller manifesto of how he wants to destroy the children of Israel from generation to generation to generation. Then you have the Freemasons that come in, that pick that shit up, and they implement it. You have the American Medical Association. You have the Knights of Columbus, the Knights of Malta, the Club of Rome. Everybody's in the Club of Rome. All the nations, all the elite of all of the nations. You know, the head, the presidents, the prime ministers, all these different individuals. But anyway, Revelation chapter 17, verse 17, for the Most High had put in their hearts and to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High should be fulfilled. Okay, now let's get back over here where I was at to Joel chapter 3, verse 9 again. Prepare ye, proclaim this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. NLT, say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Right? KJV, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Right? And for many decades, all of the heathen nations of the world have been, in the eyes of Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and these military bases and embassies that they have in their countries have been looked upon as being weak. Right? Because of the fear that they have of America's insanity to push the button on their country and send them back to the goddamn Stone Age. Okay? So it's always been a constant fear of these Edomite devils coming in and taking over their land, setting up a puppet leader and taking their natural resources. So through tariffs, they try to do business with these Americans to keep their ass at bay, to stop them from destroying everything that they hold dear in these heathen nations. However, the Israelites have been dispersed among these heathen nations that live among the heathen. See, that's the reason why America put their bases and their military bases, their embassies in these countries on a global scale. That's the reason why the whore sitteth upon many waters. That's the reason why it's called that. Anyway, hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors. Okay? Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. So at that time, when these devils come in against the Israelites like a flood, let's get it. Isaiah 59, verse 19. Salakia. Let's start at 18. Isaiah 59 and 18. According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies, to the islands. He will repay recompense. And what is recompense? Payback, right? You got to pay it back. Okay? Verse 18, NLT, he will repay his enemies for their evil deeds. His fury will fall on his foes. He will pay them back even to the ends of the earth. Okay? So the Most High is asking these devils, get your weapons ready. I'm coming to kick your ass. Okay? Verse 19, KJV, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. And the standard is spiritual power. Also, it could also be said that Joel, okay, where it says here, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about, okay, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. So the standard that will come up, the standard that the Most High will rise up against him are the angels of the Lord. In other instances, the Most High that he deemed worthy to receive spiritual power. Okay, and that's proof of in Zechariah chapter 12, right? Verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first. And the tents of Judah are the Negroes, right? The southern tribe of the house of Israel. That consists of Negroes, right? Which is, okay, that's us, so-called blacks, okay? The tribe, okay, which is the tribe of Judah. Then you have the tribe of Benjamin, okay, which are the West Indians. And then you have the tribe of Levi, which are the Haitians. So the Most High is going to save the tents of the entire southern kingdom of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah, right? Because the Israelites are many peoples and many nations, or not many nations, but many peoples, okay, that numbers the sands of the sea, all the 12 tribes. See, so it's going to be a lot more of them than us, but the Most High set us up first to be the leadership over all of the rest of the nations, and everybody else follows suit, right? Anyway, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. Now, we all know, if you go to Psalms 18, let's get it, because you don't know, clearly. Okay? I keep forgetting, right? Okay. This right here. Okay, Psalm 18:2. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my power and my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation and my high tower. Okay. Let me come down here. Down here, let's see. Salakia. Okay. Psalm 18:17. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, was my stay. Right? So that's the reason why we're still alive right today, man. It was the will of the Most High. Like it says in Malachi chapter 3, verse 6, I am the Lord thy God, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Because if it was up to these Edomite nations and all of these heathen nations, Gentiles, okay, we'd have been swallowed up quick. Like it says in Psalm 124. They'd have destroyed the shit out of us already. Wouldn't be no so-called black. Everybody would be intermingled with their blood, with the seed line, with everything else. Right? But they think right to this day that they've succeeded. Anyway, right? Salaki, I'm trying to find those biblical scriptures where I was reading. Right, here it is. Psalm 18:28. For thou wilt light my candle. The Lord, my God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, will enlighten my darkness. Right? Okay, and you can look at that biblical process right there that goes off into 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 25. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. Verse 26. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. So you see what I'm saying? So that's a way for the Most High enlightening the darkness. Because are we not in chains of darkness, this human flesh, where we have no access to our spiritual power, where sin is our kryptonite, and as long as we are in constant sin, we're still in chains of darkness. So the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, by lifting up that standard against him, will enlighten our darkness, being he would give us spiritual power, right? This is an example of the spiritual power. Psalm 18, verse 29. For by thee have I run through a troop, right? And by my power have I leapt over a wall. Okay, doesn't that kind of sound like Superman? He leaped tall buildings in a single bound, right? He, he has the strength and power of a locomotive. Wouldn't a locomotive, a train, run through a troop? A troop can range anywhere between 1,000 and 3,000 men. Okay, that's the reason why they made that song about King David. King Saul killed his thousands. King David killed his tens of thousands. Okay, that was back then when men had damn near what we would call super strength. You could pick a goddamn car up with guys back then, no problem. Just move it and push it out the way. You see what I'm saying? That's how much strength we had, man. For the food was pure. It was full of vitamins and minerals. That's all we had back then. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you got genetically modified organic shit. You're lucky to be able to get out of the bed without your back hurt or your head hurt or this and that hurts. You know what I'm saying? Just to go to work in order to slave for these goddamn animals. That's the reason why the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is coming to destroy these devils, man. They're going to all be destroyed together. That's what they wanted, right? So he's asking them to, like it says in the book of Amos, chapter 9, beat thy plowshares in the spears and thy I forgot whatever. But anyway, you know what I mean. For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my power have I leapt over a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. Right? Verse 33, he maketh my feet like hinds' feet. Right? And a hind is a deer. You know, they run pretty damn quick. 0 to 60 pretty quick. Okay? You see what I'm saying? So you're going to have super speed. And setteth me upon my high places. The ability to fly. Right? Look up in the sky. High places, right? Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. Okay? He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken in mine arms. Invulnerability. Right? Okay? A bow of steel. Steel. This is solid steel now that broke on King David's armor or broke on his arm. Just broke. Snap. Come on, man. You can't beat that with a stick. If that ain't invulnerability, I can't tell. Okay? Because the Most High was with King David whithersoever he went. So if King David got pissed off, the Most High was right there with him side by side. Let's do battle. Okay? That's a reason why all these heathen nations hate us to this day. Is because King David went through and subjugated all of these heathen nations at the United Nations, World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, okay, and their secret cabals and their secret societies, G7 Summit, all of this different shit. All of these different individuals were subjugated to indentured servitude or enslavement by King David because it was the will of the Most High that he do that to them for 40 years. If they were caught violating the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, them and their family would be put to death. Summary execution on the spot. Judge, jury, and executioner, man. For 40 years. That's the reason why the heathen nations will do anything to stop us from coming into our own and knowing and realizing that we are the children of the Most High God. That's the reason why it says in Revelation chapter 11, verse 9? That they would not suffer our dead bodies to be put in graves. See, as long as we don't know who we are, we're like dead. And like it says in Misnomer, Black's Law Dictionary, was it 1920, 1913, 1910, something like that, second edition, says anyone calling themselves a black American or, or anyone calling themselves black or black American in the American soil is considered dead in the eyes of the law. See, it fits biblical prophecy. Okay, and they would not suffer dead bodies to be put in graves. They would not suffer to tell you that you're the Israelites of the Holy Bible, so they could put away all the nonsense. Okay? Anyway, Psalm 18, verse 35. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation. That shield, that S on Superman's shirt, that big ass S, is the shield of salvation. It don't mean all this bullshit they put in the movies. You see what I'm saying? It is the shield of salvation. Why is it shaped in form of a shield then? With a big ass S on it. You people, you just don't look at things spiritually, I guess, but whatever. And thy right hand hath holden me up. Right? The right hand of the Most High will hold Superman's ass up in the air. He could sit up there and levitate all day. You saw that in the Man of Steel flick, right? Standing over all the armies of the world. That's what the elect are going to do. Those that the Most High is going to lift up that standard for. As I read in Isaiah 59 and 19. Right? Thou hast, and thy right hand thou hast holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. So everywhere King David went, he just took over. Can you imagine Superman taking over the entire world? Now they made a lot of different cartoons and video games and all these other stuff concerning Superman losing his fucking mind, okay, because the Joker blew up Metropolis and killed his woman. So he decided, I'm going to subjugate everybody in enslavement and servitude. You know, that old video game where you got the good Justice League versus the evil Justice League. Whatever, man. What is it called? Justice versus injustice. Right? Anyway, verse 38, I have wounded them that they are not able to rise. They are fallen under my feet. Okay? And these are these heathen nations that the Most High had King David subjugate to indentured servitude, enslavement, okay, and to keep his commandments, right? For thou hast girded me with strength unto the battle, thou hast subdued unto me those that rose up against me. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me, right? Wouldn't Superman pick you up by the neck and burn your fucking face off with heat vision? Okay. See? They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. Why didn't he answer them? Because they're not his people. They're not his chosen people. So if you go back to this video, let's go back. I was just basically trying to explain the spiritual power and the standard that the Most High is going to lift up against these devils. Okay, I went a little too far. Salakia. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. And they fear the name of the Lord here in the west. Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to use the Insurrection Act, okay, and the Sedition Act to shut down preaching of individuals standing on street corners. They've already done it in UK and in Great Britain. They've made it against the fucking law to stand on a street corner and preach in front of the people. Okay? And his glory from the rising of the sun. Right? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Let's go find out that standard, see if I was lying. Standard. Boom. Noose.
Strong's H 5127. Noose. Noose.
Okay, hold up. Here it is. To flee, escape, to flee, to escape, to take flight. Metaphorically, to depart, to disappear. Okay, how many superheroes and superheroines and the X-Men, the fucking Fantastic Four, the Avengers, you know, all these different superhero groups. They got the Defenders, right? That have the ability to disappear. Fantastic Four, Invisible Woman. Come on, man. Kitty Pryde, she can walk through a wall. Okay. You know, off of the X-Men. You got the other chick that can, man. See, you see what I'm saying? When Stan Lee created the so-called Marvel Universe, he was basing this on the superpowers that the Most High is going to bless the 144,000 with. And if you go back and check, you have 144,000. Okay, what is it? The 144,000. You have 12,000 of all the different superheroes and supervillains. Okay, in the Marvel Universe. Okay, you got it. Pretty close to 144,000 of them. Okay, and supposedly, but you know, like I said before, as far as the comic book universe, it continued to expand. You have Image Comics, you have Dark Horse Comics, you have Spawn, You have all of these different things, man. Different individuals that started popping up with superheroes, superpowers, and all of this other shit. Now they got the Sentry. That's supposed to be his own power with Superman, but he can do much more. But he's insane. And he has a split personality. Come on, man. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, to fly to the attack on horseback, right? On horseback, horsepower, right? So if you're flying to the attack under your own power, is it not that the Most High holds you up in the air and allow you to levitate with his power? You see what I'm saying? To drive at, to take flight, to put to flight, to drive hastily, to cause to disappear, to hide, to flee away, to lift up a standard, flight, high, flee out. Okay, listen to this. To flit. What is to flit? Okay, let me see if I can pull it up. To flit. Flit. Definition. Right. Flit. To move swiftly and lightly. Okay, is that not the Flash? Right? In the DC universe? With his Speed Force, he got a TV show on that shit. Right? You got DC Universe on TV with that. You got the Flash, you got the dude from X-Men, what's his name? Quicksilver. Scarlet Witch's brother that died, got shot up in the movie. Right? All this old type of shit. These are the individuals that can flit. You got X-Men, you got Quicksilver in the X-Men movie, running around in the kitchen on the side of a wall in slow motion. Come on now. Okay? That's what it means to flit, to move swiftly and lightly. Okay? Let's see. I.e., to vanish away. Okay, you got the Invisible Woman in the Fantastic Four. Bitch can turn invisible. Right? Abate, away, to be displayed. Make to flee. Awaying, put to flight, to hide, lift up a standard. Man, come on, man. What is this thing here? See? Wow, just went into to take anything away by flight, to put it in safety. Okay, it's giving you the ability to fly right away. Boom, boom. Hasten to be born swiftly. Okay. See, so that's what I'm saying, man. To flee from any person or thing. Man, come on, man. So the Most High is going to give us the ability to disappear, to cause to disappear, to hide, to take flight, to fly to the attack. That's power, man. It takes power to do that. If they're shooting at you with bullets and you run at them, the bullets ain't going to matter, man. Because if you're fleeing with flight to make hasty, to drive hastily, to take flight, to be light-footed, to flit, man, come on, man. You running around them so fast, shit, they're standing still. Bullets, you can actually, wow, look at that. I can move a bullet out of the sky and move it over there. Right? Like you seen in the X-Men flick, when they was trying to break Magneto out of the prison. You see what I'm saying? This is the power that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to give his elect. Okay? Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to Joel. What was that? Yep. Joel chapter 2. Verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, and this great people and a strong are the thermonuclear weapons that you saw. Okay? These are the great people and the strong that the Most High was referring to. See the little yellow lines? These are the great people and the strong. That's what he's referring to. Right? There hath not been ever the like. Okay? Because this has to be, you have to look at it from a spiritual sense. I forget the word. It's symbolic and a different word of the great people and the strong is symbolic of the thermonuclear missiles. But anyway, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Okay? NLT. It is a day of darkness and gloom, a day of thick clouds and deep blackness, suddenly like dawn spreading across the mountains. And the mountains in the biblical context are governments. And hills are smaller governments, and valleys are vassal states to the hills, and the hills are vassal states to the mountains, which are governments, major governments. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, a great and mighty army appears. Right? Will this not be like a great and mighty army appearing out of nowhere and they start blowing shit up? Okay, hold on. Nothing like it has ever been seen before or will ever be seen again. KJV, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yep, and nothing shall escape them. NLT, fire burns in front of them, and flames follow after them. Right? Ain't that what happens when you got these jets? These jets, everything burns in front of them, flames burn after that, after they drop it all off. Right? See? Hold on. Ahead of them, the land lies as beautiful as the Garden of Eden. Behind them is nothing but desolation. Not one thing escapes. They look like horses. They charge forward like war horses. Right? Do they not charge forward like war horses? Nothing's going to stop them. All these nuclear missiles, man. Okay, hold on.
The second NATO country with nuclear weapons deployed in Europe is France. France's nuclear arsenal consists of 290 ballistic missiles. Marine carries 16 M51 submarine-launched ballistic missiles. In theory, each sub can launch its entire 16-missile payload virtually undetected in under 5 minutes.
Right? Like the noise of chariots on the tops of the mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array.
When launched, the 3-stage M51 SOBM travels at speeds of over 19,000 miles per hour, has a range of over 6,000 miles, and typically reaches its target or targets in around 15 minutes.
See the horsepower behind it? That's horsepower, man. Right?
Each warhead is guided by a multiple independently targetable reentry vehicle, or MIRV, allowing a single M51 missile to deliver up to 10 warheads to 10 separate targets. Just one M51 missile alone, armed with 10 warheads, has 130 times the destructive power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
Okay, hold on. Joel chapter 2, verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of the mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. Right? Listen. Hear the stubble? You understand it now? Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Let's go to Revelation. Okay. Chapter 9. See, what is that? Verse. It told me, Revelation chapter 9, it says, right. All right, let's start up here at, was it, did I start it, where was I supposed to start it? So like, yeah, I think it's, okay. Hold on, let's see. I got it. Verse 7. Revelation chapter 9, verse 7. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. Okay? Because if you amplify the noise of a locust, right, and you amplify that sound, it's going to sound like, okay, a giant jet engine. Okay? If you amplified it. You know, it's going to make shit rumble. Shit's going to shake. You know what I mean? Okay? Let's, okay. And on their heads, as it were, like crowns like gold. And their faces were as the faces of men. Right? Because people knew who's shooting at them. Right? If you're going to be destroyed, the first person you're going to blame it on is, oh, Russia's shooting nuclear weapons on us. What are we going to do? Oh. Right? And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots, the chariots of many horses running to battle. Right? I just showed you what it sounds like from these thermonuclear weapons with horsepower coming directly at you. Nothing shall escape them. Nothing shall harm them. Even if you try to shoot them down, it ain't going to do any good. It's just going to split apart into more missiles. Okay? And they had tails like unto scorpions. Right?
There are numerous advantages of France's ballistic missile submarines. For starters, they make up the most survivable leg of the nuclear triad. Ballistic missile submarines are virtually undetectable at sea. Their self-design makes finding one an almost impossible task, giving pause to potential adversaries, with at least one submarine on constant patrol at all times.
Here it is, see? Like the noise of the chariots in the tops of the mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. See all these thermonuclear explosions? Who's going to survive that?
The second leg of France's nuclear arsenal is its air-based tactical bombers. France's strategic air forces operate 40 nuclear-capable Rafale MF-3 aircraft. France's strategic bombers are organized into 2 bomb squadrons and 1 bomb wing at 3 bases. Saint-Nazaire Air Base, with 2 forward operating bases at Istres Air Base and Avor Air Base. Each MF-3 bomber can carry 1 Aspam thermonuclear cruise missile. When launched, the Aspam cruise missile could travel over 300 miles at speeds exceeding 2,300 miles per hour, using its independent guidance system to deliver a TN-81 300 kiloton warhead to its target in less than 90 seconds. Each missile contains 40 times the destructive power of the bomb dropped on Nagasaki in 1845.
Okay, so my point being is that these devils have got it in to destroy each other from off the face of the fucking earth, man. They do not care. Okay, let's go to Luke chapter 21, verse 22. For these be the days of vengeance. In red letter, these words were spoken by Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Okay? For those will be days of God's vengeance, and the prophetic words of the scriptures will be fulfilled. Okay? So yeah, it's gonna go down, man, here pretty soon. Let's go back over here to Isaiah, and I think I'll close it out with that. Isaiah chapter 4. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. How do you melt a mountain? With heat, right? If a mountain's a government, how do you melt that government? With heat. They'll quit. Think they won't? Verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Let's get you some a vision of some of these thermonuclear destructive forces, what they look like. Okay, this is what it means as a scroll rolled together. As a scroll. Let's get it. Like I said before, was it Isaiah? It was Isaiah 34. Okay, Isaiah chapter 34. Salakia. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Let me see if I can find me more pictures of that. Because a lot of these individuals, man, they think they're just gonna blow up the fucking world and go into the ground, and then come up out of the ground like everything's gonna be just fine. Don't worry about it. And it's all about depopulation at the end of the day. Okay, this is what's gonna happen. Okay, all this shit's gonna be on fire, man. You understand where I'm coming from? I mean, you people, you think it ain't? Yeah. Trust me, they want to burn this shit to the ground, man. Okay. Because, I mean, they push wickedness on every nation on the face of the earth. Everybody's sick and tired of this shit. Okay? Destroying entire cities with thermonuclear heat. You see what I'm saying? Let's get you more pictures. I got some more. A lot of more. Yep, there's another one. Boom. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's it. That's what the biblical scripture means. A thermonuclear blast. See? Like you see in the background here in this picture. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4 and 10. Let's get it. Okay? Why not? I might as well. Okay? Maybe I'll stay too long talking about the power that we're going to receive from King David, right? And 2/3 of our people are going to get caught up in this shit, man. Only 1 out of every 3 Negroes, 3 Latinos, and 3 Native Indians will be saved. The rest are going to be cut off, right? So let's go to Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers, right? Right, that of her sins, and that ye may receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Who is her? Babylon the Great, America. Marathion, the land of double rebellion. They say the law is done away with, and you can do whatever you want to do. Right? Verse 5, verse 6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double. How much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, who judgeth her. Okay? Boom. That's a dude in the army trying to run. Too late. Where you going to go? Okay? Okay. So, like I said before, man. Yeah, man. More destruction. Boom. What's a soldier going to do? Finna get burnt to death. You see what I'm saying? The immediate aftermath, man, of these thermonuclear weapons. Okay? All the cities are going to be destroyed. Look. Keep trying to explain to you. The heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll when it's rolled together. Right? See? It's going to be blowing up shit everywhere. The anatomy of a modern nuclear exchange. That's Joel chapter 2 right there. Okay? So, like I said before, man, these devils are done. They know it. It's just a matter of time. We're just waiting on them to push the dead man switch. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rahawa Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that have been scattered abroad throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Shalom.